Texas and NRG Stadium in Houston. Today we've got a Week 8 matchup on tap here between the Detroit Lions and the Houston Texans. That's fielded in the end zone. And with a new rule, that decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he only gets to the 20. First carry for Lamar Miller. And not too much going there as he'll get it up to the 23-yard line. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. Second down following the run.
Watch left, watch left, watch left. Stop right there.
Back over. Let's go. Blue, Landy. Back there, Philly. Here we go.
Now Whedon. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And he's brought down. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Trying to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
Now the Notre Dame man, this is Theo Riddick. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. J.J. Watt there on the tackle for a loss. Of course, last year's Defensive Player of the Year.
And we love saying his name, don't we? J.J. Watt. How about all that production, too? 29 tackles for loss in 2015.
And second place only at 23.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage with your tight end on that one.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. And after the play on the ground, that brings up second down here.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front.
Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Bernardrick McKinney in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
And Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. And the Lions are going to take a 3-0 lead. So, of course, they wanted to find the end zone, but when you go on the road and your first drive results in points, I think you're pretty happy.
You have to be, because you've taken it to the home team in this case. And while you may not have shut up the home crowd, you've quieted them down a little bit. Good way to start.
The Lions defense now back onto the field. They had the interception last time, led to a field goal.
And kept points off the board against them as well. What a great way to end a drive. Take it away and set your offense up to put points on the board themselves.
The only thing would have been better, a touchdown. Now they'll be looking to get the stop and lead to that here on the next drive. A huge play there for Houston. And even 40 yards.
Coaches really don't care from what position they get this. But run after the catch ability, rack ability, is often the difference between winning and losing and changing field position.
To the sideline, and a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were. Nothing on that one. It'll be second down. Offense still needing 10 yards. Second down. Here's Whedon. This one complete. It's C.J. Fedorowicz. Touchdown, Houston. C.J. Fedorowicz, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Texans have taken the early lead. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. Now it's Novak on. He'll send this one away following the touchdown. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. All right, this is a guy that needs no introduction to the league. He has been around quite a while.
And it's good that they have him because when he looks around his huddle, he may not have guys with the same experience he has. Maybe some of the youngsters, and his veteran leadership should help them along the way.
On the ground, it's Reddick. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
They go back to Reddick. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
And that run was what a lot of people call an explosive run. Gave them good yardage, solid yardage. They feel good about the whole thing, and they did it behind a two tight end set. It's always interesting to watch what offenses want to do with the two tight ends. Sometimes they line them up together for a power set. Sometimes they put one on each side of the line of scrimmage to balance things out. No matter what, though, when you see two tight ends on the field, your first thought is to think of run. In this case, the offense was able to run successfully. That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a...
Here with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, as the Lions are in possession of the football here to begin quarter number 2. They've got a 2nd down and 8 to start things out. Off of play action, here's Stafford. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. Jeremy Curley, the intended receiver. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. And looking at Houston defensively, they've got a dime set. 6 DBs on 3rd. Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. Ebron with it over the middle. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
Completing it here to Marvin Jones. And he's brought down after a good gain. It goes as a pickup of 23. And it's good enough for a Detroit first down.
Love the call by the offensive coordinator, recognizing the situation very well, calling for the play-action pass and completing it.
And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. 10 yards still left on 2nd down.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old-school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. To the air again, Stafford. And that's incomplete. Eric Ebron, the big tight end, is intended target. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Now it's Matt Prater on for the Lion field goal try. A 33-yarder from the left hash. And Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. And they'll get it back within a point at 7-6. So the drive stalls out, but they are able to put 3 points on the board.
Yeah, just a yard or two shorter than an extra point, so no problems converting there.
This is taken at the 3. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And getting set to go again, here's the Lions defense. See if they can regroup a little bit. They gave up the touchdown last drive.
And you know, from our meetings with coaches all across the league, one of their pet peeves, when teams get down,
A lot of these guys now, they want to treat it like it's a video game or something. Hit reset. Let's start over, coach. Out of the first 2 series, they don't even matter now. Let's play again. That's not how it works. You're down. You gave up a touchdown. You can't do it again. You have to dig in, grit it out, and fight it out. Reset buttons. It's driving everybody crazy. There are no reset buttons when you're playing in this game.
Preach, Chucky, preach. He hits the first-year man, Will Fuller. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
A first down carry now for Miller. Penalty marker is down here. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line.
Holding offense. Still first down.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They isolate Hopkins on the left side. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he rifles one incomplete. C.J. Fedorowicz, the intended receiver. And it'll make this a 2nd and long.
Normally, he's pretty reliable. Usually catches what's thrown to him. On that play, he simply dropped it.
Hurry up, here we go.
Now Whedon. And he comes back with one complete. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll force upon him a 3rd and 14.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
A gain of 26 on the 3rd down conversion. Well, we know he's got the speed there. He needed the speed and the hands. A great catch.
And because of that speed, you have to respect it as a defender. So you have to either play off or make sure you're
A fight for the football, and it's intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. So here come the Lions now. And they had a long drive last time, but they had to settle for a field goal. And I'm sure that's how it felt to them, settling. They probably should have gotten in the end zone.
Yeah, not out-and-out joy, right? Because that's what you get when you put the ball in the end zone. But there are benefits to that type of a long drive. Your defense gets a chance to take a break, adjust a little bit, maybe get themselves ready to get back out on the field and play a little bit better. So they'll take the benefit even though they wanted the 6 points.
And maybe wore down the other defense. We'll see. And going over the middle here to Curley. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up. On 1st and 10, Stafford. He hits Riddick underneath. So a good spin move there before he's taken down. A nice little gain. 6 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 2nd down. Here's Stafford now on 2nd down. And he is going to lose yardage here. He went backwards 7 yards, setting up a tough 3rd down. And they're going to speed things up here. Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. And Jones has it over the middle. And now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. On 4th down, here's Sam Martin on to kick it away. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And 2 interceptions thrown here in this first half. You hear it, no matter the sport, they say the great athletes, they can kind of have a short-term memory, but that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done, but I played with a guy who threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter of a really big game we were playing.
Johnny Unitas?
And no, not quite of that level and not of that age. But I remember looking over at him, and he was smiling. And I thought, what is he smiling about? It's because he had
That's caught at the 25. Touchdown, Houston. DeAndre Hopkins with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Texans are able to show off their quick strike ability.
And that lead is now 7 with a chance to go to 8 or more if they want to get crazy here, which we don't expect. But I just know the way the game's being played, the analytics, there's going to be a lot more of going for 2 in a lot of situations, isn't there?
Yeah, there's going to be. And I think their focus here, they don't want to give up anything going into the lockers on the other, and just a little bit of time left on the clock.
Yeah, they don't want to do anything to erase the good feeling they have right now by getting this late score in the half.
Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
Offside, defense. Still 7-0.
Offense readies for a 2nd and 1. Defense really showing respect to the deep ball here, playing off the receivers. A final shot before the break. Stafford. He's going to loft one into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Brian Cushing. Okay, so Larry apparently giving us the silent treatment all of a sudden, and we're going to skip ahead to quarter number 3. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Now a hit and a loose football. Taking it right down Broadway. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about.
Holding, defense.
And after a nice game, they don't need the penalty. They'll decline it, take the ball where the play resulted. It's up and good, and that'll make the score 21-6. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. And Detroit getting set to go now. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there.
But this is a do that?
I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for him. He's going to air one out. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
On every offensive coordinator, every play caller sheet, they have about 5 or 6 plays per game that they call shot plays or big plays. And you don't get many opportunities to dial them up, and they just did, and they drop it with a great chance to make a big play. That's going to hurt.
A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Now Stafford, and caught by Curley. And he's brought down. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie,
You enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game. Really at the point of attack, the offensive line is just getting pushed around. I think now as a play caller, you got to give them a little bit of help. Maybe keep your tight ends a little bit more. Maybe the running backs help you a little bit with the pass blocking. But you've got to help them get some confidence, because you can't abandon the play calling right now.
So not the same performance here that we saw a week ago. I mean, after the game, we were talking about it. He was hitting on all cylinders. That's just not the case here.
I know usually on the ride to the airport, we're talking about so many other things, but we were so locked into how well he had played. Sharp throwing the football, made the right decisions on when to run, when not to run.
And you notice his footwork was really good.
Footwork was on point. I thought his ability to manage the game as well, get him into better plays, I thought he was really locked in. So far in this game, we're not seeing that. Hopefully he'll be able to pick it up.
From the red zone now, Stafford. Caught right side, Tate. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll check on his status when we get back.
Check.
Stafford looks to throw again. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Whitney merciless from his outside linebacker spot, forcing the sack for a loss of 8. They've been moving the ball well offensively, really getting into a groove. Last play, pass completion. Now, finally, the defense gets there.
And you have to find a way to disrupt their rhythm. Do you do it with coverage, or do you do it with pressure? They elected to go with pressure, and it was the right call.
It'll wind up being stopped for no gain, and it'll lead to a 4th down. And Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So his 3rd field goal of the ball game brings him a bit closer, but there's no question they need to start turning some of these 3s into 6s.
And 7s, and probably even 8s. You know, as a kicker, you just head out when you're called upon, so he's done his job. It's the rest of the offense that needs to get it in gear if they want to close this gap.
The Lions defense marching back onto the field now. They've had a couple passing touchdowns against them in this game, and that last drive they really got picked apart.
They've got to figure out how to tighten things up, because no matter what they've done, whatever adjustments they've made, offense has been a step ahead of them, so they've got to figure it out. Usually, a sack of the quarterback can help change the momentum.
Maybe bring some pressure.
I think maybe a little bit of pressure would help them greatly.
On the counter, it's Miller. And he'll be taken down after a decent gain, and that will bring us to the end of this 3rd quarter of play. Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Texans in control of the football and leading this game as well as we start the 4th. And the offense still has a couple plays to go to pick up the first on 2nd down and 3. They'll run it again with Miller. And he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. They got 2 of the 3 they needed there. It leaves them with 3rd and just a yard. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Now he will have a first down here at about the 40. They'll run it now out of the gun. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
Again, it's Miller. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
How
times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways. In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary, and that led to a really nice game.
The Pro Bowler Hopkins, the intended receiver, and that'll make it 2nd and 10. And so the ref takes a peek here, wants to see if the receiver had possession and both feet inbounds.
If this were a college game, this would be a legal catch. It's the second foot that they're looking at to make sure it gets down. You have to have 2 inbounds in the NFL.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup. Well, the obvious goal is to try and score a touchdown, but at the least, adding to a pretty big yardage total for his intended receiver there, huh?
Yeah, well, when you got a guy over 150 yards, keep chucking it deep to him, I guess.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You can get it to him short, and he can make plays that way, but I like what you just said. Throw it to him deep and get it in a big chunk.
But incomplete on that try. So they settle for just the 3 there, but clearly anything helps when you're trying to salt one away here in the 4th.
Without a doubt, I think a touchdown would have been the final nail. But 3 does give him some breathing room and lets him build up a little cushion.
And heading back onto the field now, the Texans defense. And they've got the lead. Last time they surrendered the field goal. We'll see what they do this go-around.
And giving up 3 is never ideal because any defense wants to pitch a shutout. But that's not a bad thing in most situations. You only give up field goals, your team has a chance to win.
Yeah, and they still, as I said, they've got the lead here. We'll see if they can get a stop and hold them to 0 points this time. They'll come out in the pistol. A good start there on this 4th quarter drive. They need more of what we just saw.
Down a couple of scores. There's still time, all right? It's not like they're totally out of it, but they have to score quickly, and they're going to need some big-time plays, chunk plays, explosive plays. They need yardage on each snap.
First down.
Throwing to Stafford. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete. He was looking for Theo Riddick there. And it'll be 2nd down. On 2nd down, here's Stafford. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
Some think the teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
Here's Stafford. He's got Fuller. Oh, an absolutely filthy juke. He's got some space now. Touchdown, Detroit. Corey Fuller, his first touchdown on the year. And the Lions are able to cut into this lead. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
This is fielded at the goal line. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal.
Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Miller, the lone setback. And he'll get it up the middle. And he is... And now the Lions going to stop us momentarily as they call a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages.
Strong left. Strong left. Strong left.
And the Lions going with an extra DB here on 3rd down. Here's Whedon. Hopkins on the grab over the middle. And we're going to get another timeout called by the Lions. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They'll run. It's Miller. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. So nursing a slim lead, and that is the opposite of protecting that slim lead.
All I can think here is that head coach, he knows more about what's going on with his team than we do. He must know something's up. Either he has trouble with it.
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. John Simon in there to drop him as the clock continues to roll. He'll look to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line.
Well, they needed the touchdown and the 2-point conversion, but they're not going to get a shot at either. This is a great play here defensively, Brandon, and at a time that they sorely needed one. And that could be enough to help get them out of here with a victory.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. This is caught inside the 15. Touchdown, Houston. DeAndre Hopkins, his 2nd touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. And the Texans will add on to their lead.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside at 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Houston defense, we watch as they get set to go. And the interception the last time, their 3rd takeaway of the game, Charles.
They're just flocking to the football so well. And not only are they doing that, they're making big-time plays and taking it away from them. Big hits, big plays. They're looking very good in this ball game.
You said flocking, flying to the football. Coaches always use that, don't they?
They really do. It's almost, it goes back to the old, when they click off the frame at the end of a play, they want to see all 11 defense.
And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. The former #1 overall pick, Jadeveon Clowney, in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year. Stafford, and he is going to lose yardage here, and they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Desperation time for Stafford on 4th down. And this is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And now, goodness, possession's going to go over right at the 10-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins, his 3rd touchdown of the game, 10th on the year. And the Texans will extend their lead.
And to me, that touchdown allows you to start grinning widely on your sideline. I think they pretty much locked this one away.
Yeah, that's the clincher, the proverbial icing on the cake, if you will. Now it's Novak on. He'll send this one away following the touchdown. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out now come the Lions. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that.
I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. And this one complete to Andre Roberts. That one goes for 24 yards. And now they're in the hurry-up. And he'll indeed get him to the line and spike it here to stop the clock. So they're still at the original line of scrimmage here. 2nd down and 10. Here's Stafford now on 2nd down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long. And the Texans have an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down. 3rd and long. It's Stafford. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Bernardrick McKinney in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. And no press coverage here. They are backing off in the secondary. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Curley's got it complete. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and that will force a turnover on downs. Victory very much in sight now as they'll take a knee. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. And you know, winning...